Morning, ladies and gentlemen. I want just to talk about the so-called handshake. And I want to tell you, handshakes and coalitions are made from the point of weakness. Whenever someone cannot fulfill their mandate, they do handshake with somebody just to coalesce numbers, but actually not give deliverables. When Moi was running the government, he discovered that he could not be able to run the government because of corruption and bad image internally and internationally. So he handshaked Raila Odinga, brought him what's called the Dream Team, and that also did not actually deliver services to people. The same strategy was done by Mwai Kibaki. When he had just gone through an election, he handshake Kalonzo, then he handshake Raila Odinga, and formed a government, which was a big government, very broad government. Again, that government delivered less. The economy grew at a weak point. Remember, when Kibaki was the president of Kenya, when he was running the country as a president without another coalition member, the first term of the president did much better than the second term. So when he did the handshake for the second term, the performance of President Kibaki was less in the second term than the first term. If you look at the numbers, the economy grew faster between 2002 and 2007. Then from there, economy had a dip and it never recovered. Then, of course, again, Uhuru Kenyatta, when he could not run the country, he handshake Raila Odinga. They came with BBI, which was to expand the government. Fortunately, that did not work. And eventually now we are seeing William Ruto handshaked Raila Odinga. Now he has gone on to handshake Uhuru Kenyatta. I don't know who is next. And he formed a broad-based government. Now the broad-based government gets broader. But I want to tell Mr. President, this is just what I would call misplaced handshake. You don't need these handshakes. You just need to handshake the right person. Handshake the citizens of Kenya. Those are the people to handshake. You said the country has a demon. Is the demon going to be, we are going to exhaust this demon using Uhuru Kenyatta, or you should go to the priests and you should go to the pastors. You should go to the bishops and let them even have confession with your own pastor and let them tell you which are these demons. Then they can actually be exhausted to be removed from this country. Remember, if you ignore the Catholic Church, you ignore the ACK Church, you ignore all the churches and their voices, these are the moral conscience of the country. The moral conscience of this country is not Uhuru Kenyatta, it's not Raila Odinga, it's not Kalonzo Musyoka, it's not anybody else. The moral conscience of this country is the church. And we are happy that the Spirit of God is speaking to the bishops now directly. And they have recently spoken, and they have spoken very nicely. Please, the person to handshake is Kenyans, and what I mean by handshake healthcare. There's a problem in healthcare. Handshake it. Make it work. Education system. We are going to, the January, there is no classroom for grade 9. Handshake education system. Lecturers, students, teachers, doctors are on strike. Handshake and make the government services delivery work. President William Ruto has done more handshakes, but they seem not to be working. He's handshaking the wrong people. Handshake Kenyans, because Kenyans are the people. If they have you, if they have your back, if Kenyans have your back, you don't need those people. Being in government, I've heard people making noise that we are in government. Being in government means that you are getting government services. If you cannot get government services, you are not in government. Whether you are in Luo, you are a Kalenjin, and you're not getting government services, you are not in government. The people in government are your kingpins, who are brokers on your behalf, who are eating from your blood, eating from the cultural heritage you have. So Kalenjins are also not in government. Even Kikuyus are not in government. Because I was in Uasin Gishu, I was in Trans Nzoia. Those people lack services. They have healthcare challenges, just like anybody else. They do not have education services working for them. Passports, IDs, nothing is really working there. Even the so-called subsidized fertilizer, they're still not getting it. So there's nobody in government until Kenyans get government services. So even those making noise from Luo Nyanza, they are in government. You are not in government. You are not getting government services. Getting one of your kingpins eating on your behalf does not mean you're in government, because there's no bank account for any community. Even Kalenjins don't have a bank account. Even Luos don't have. Kikuyus don't have. Kambas don't have. Nobody is government apart from these people who steal from Kenyans. So it does not happen. Mr. President, don't handshake don't handshake these people, because what I'm hearing from the ground, let me give you advice. The ground in Luomo Nyanza is saying that even if you resurrect Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, Raila's father, or Ramogi Ajwang himself, if you don't handshake them, you will be a one-term president. This is free advice. Today, I was in Mount Kenya. I talked to somebody who comes from Meru. The ground in Mount Kenya, east and west, are united that even if you resurrect Kimathi and you do not handshake Kenyans, you will still be a one-term president. They have nicknamed you Kasongo. And that's what they are saying on the ground. Mr. President, I want you to succeed and succeed now. Please come back and address the Kenyans issue, because if you fail now, people who are dying of hunger are dying now. People dying of cold who cannot have a place to sleep are dying of cold now. A child who can go to school is dying now. That person in hospital who cannot get a dialysis, who cannot be able to get a diabetic treatment, cannot get arthritis treatment, cannot be able to access drugs for pressure ulcers, they are dying now. So we must succeed now. But those people whom you're handshaking, they want you to fail. Because I'm very sure that Uhuru Kenyatta, even if he's a gentleman, he's a statesman, he has a legacy he left. He might be wanting you to have a worse performance than him so that he become the most performing president, because among all the 5 presidents, Kibaki still is the one on top of the pie. Now, where will you be, Mr. President? Is this people friends or their enemies? I know politics is what is being played, but economically, Kenyans will stand behind you. And with the strength of Kenyans behind you, you will not need any handshake from anybody. When you form more broad-based government, the government is going to be more expensive. There will be higher government expenditure. You're going to put money on those people you're bringing in your government. You will put money on Kenyans, and Kenyans will come and show you that they have not changed their mind. What they said on 25th of June remains. And therefore, Mr. President, come back and serve Kenyans. Handshake Kenyans. Don't tear gas them. Thank you.